I'm Jaden Fields.
I'm Jada Kearney.
And I'm Riley Orcutt. Welcome to Off Topic.
Hey guys, welcome back to Off Topic. We're here with Niels and Felipe today.
Hi.
So tell us a little bit about yourselves and why you chose UGA.
So, my name is Niels. I'm a freshman here on the tennis team, and I'm from Belgium. So, I chose UGA over every other schools because it's a real program, great tennis program. I'd say legendary, great coaching staff, best in the nation for me for sure. Great facilities, and of course, the bonds between every players on the team. So yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I'm Felipe. I was born in Brazil. I moved maybe 16 times in my life. I've been around. Now family actually lives in Georgia. I chose Georgia. Well, my dog's name is Georgia. This is funny story. I was between Arizona State and Georgia, and right out of high school, I went to ASU. I've had a bunch of knee surgeries, some knee problems, and that coach there had like bone cancer in his knee. I was like, all right, he'll understand me, right? He'll get what I've been going through. And so I go there, and it was a good experience, but let's just say I knew I needed to be home. So then I came back to Georgia, best decision I ever made. And okay, you got to tell them about how you actually found out about Georgia in the first place.
Yeah, so he owns this virtual tennis academy online, Costa Tennis Academy. Go follow. He owns it, and at first it popped up on my TikTok page or Instagram page, and his first ever video was made in front of the stadium, and that's the first ever time I look at the stadium and I'm like, what is that? This looks sick. I'm like, I want to play there.
That's funny, yeah.
That's how I find out about Georgia, and from there, I follow the results and yeah.
That's awesome.
Special
So through
in Georgia.
TikTok, wow.
Yeah, basically.
TikTok
yeah.
doing great things out here.
Promote TikTok.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. So y'all's season is. Have you already started?
Yeah. So we just started. We had a couple matches just to kick off, and then we had our official ITA kickoff. Had a good match against Louisiana, and then lost a close one to A&M.
Texas A&M, yeah.
But we got Georgia Tech.
Yeah, coming up tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow
Yeah,
too.
big match,
So we're
yeah.
excited for that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
That'll be awesome.
So how are you guys feeling so far about the season?
Good. I mean, so we had a lot of old players. We had 5 fifth years, and the number 1 kid in the country last year.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of experience, a lot of talent, and then this year we got a bunch of young guys. This guy's come in. He's
super excited because tennis is such an individual sport, and I come from somewhere where I play tennis I go to tournaments alone, only with my coach. I practice alone, but here competing with a bunch of guys is awesome. The atmosphere on the team is great, and there's always something to push you to do more when you're on the court.
It's cool to see the transition with the younger guys coming in, because so tennis, I mean, is one of, if not the most individual sport you can get. No coaching,
Right.
no caddy next to you, no nothing. And then you go from, all right, you've been traveling the world playing completely on your own, and you come on a team, the requirement is just so different, right? You need to do so much more that you never thought you had to do in order to manage the people on the team, in order to develop good team chemistry and trust so fast, right? We had a freshman come, his name's Freddie, an English guy, Freddie, and he comes in January, right at the start of the season, and all of a sudden it's like, all right, you're playing matches within 4 days of arriving in the United States. We need to trust you somehow. We got to resort and assume you're best friends with us immediately. We don't know who he is, but we trust the coach's recruiting, and he's been an incredible guy. I live with him, and I couldn't have asked for a better roommate. Yeah.
Speaking of your coach is kind of like a legend.
Yeah.
I'd say. How is that playing for him?
Yeah, I mean, at first, so when I came on my visit here, I was trying to not analyze him, but analyze him because I was questioning myself. Okay, this guy won, I don't know, 30 SEC. No, a bit less. But how many SEC championship he got?
Him specifically, I don't know, but he's been here for 42 years, and we have 42 SECs.
He got 42 SECs, so many SEC Coach of the Year, and I want to know what makes him special. But honestly, I asked him when I was here, and he told me you have to experience it. And now I totally understand it. It's just the way he makes you understand things, the way he talks to you when you're in a special position during the match or in a special situation, and the relationship he has with you outside of the court too is what makes him great.
Yeah. So Manny has this, it's like an untouchable characteristic where, and I'll give a quick example. Last year, we had some huge matches against Tennessee and Kentucky. And the match before Tennessee, it was unspoken, but he could sense that everyone was almost maybe shying away from the task and didn't put on a brave face that specific day. And while everyone else could have just gone by the book and been like, guys, we got to go out and fight and whatnot, he understood and he noticed, it's like, yo, we got to step up. I know you could be feeling a little nervous. You could be feeling a little bit of doubt now. So we got to go out. We got to get some energy. So everyone's okay. He empowered us. The next weekend we played Kentucky. And before the Kentucky match, everyone's super hyped up and whatnot. Blah, and he calmly walks into the players' lounge and in his pre-match speech was like, hey, no need to do too much. Which the previous week it was like, all right, he just sensed that we were a little down, and the next week he sensed that we were extremely on top of things, and so he likes this like homeostasis, making sure we're right at the right level. Today, well, we're playing Tech tomorrow. He could sense that there's nerves, right? There's lots of new guys and whatnot. And just making sure, hey, relax, calm, you go out and do your thing. We love you no matter what. We're here for you. That is the Manny Diaz secret.
Yeah, that sounds very familiar. Our coach kind of does the same thing and tells us about staying neutral. You don't want to get too high, you don't want to be too low, but staying right in the middle.
Yeah.
Nice. So you guys, you speak very highly of your teammates. What is it like being on a team where there's people from all over the world?
So, like, compared to the other teams, like, we're lucky because tennis is a sport that is, I would say, a bit more developed at the international level. So we're lucky to have guys from everywhere. They all bring their one specific things to the team, and they help us like develop in areas that we're not as good as them. For example, I'll take my teammate Miguel. On the court, he's bringing insane, unmatched energy.
Yeah,
he's from
Spanish.
Spain. He's like the fighter himself. Like he's
Literally
coming,
a Spanish bull,
yeah,
basically.
He's like coming on the court with his headband, and he's like a warrior, and like he brings this energy, and it just boosts all the other guys next to him to do better and to almost copy him. Or I mean, I don't have any specific quality that the Belgian guy usually have, but I can bring my own energy when I'm on the court, and I know that he can empower my teammates that are next to me for them to try to do more. So yeah, everyone brings their own little part to the puzzle and makes it very complete.
So I got lucky since I've moved around the world a lot. I understand that there's a huge difference, and it's almost an unnoticeable difference between culture in different places. So, and it's very strictly followed. The stereotypes of a British person, Freddie has almost all of them.
Yeah.
And he said, no, I'm not British, whatever. But it's the way you communicate. It's very bantery, right? You know, making fun of other people. And so you got to manage people a little bit more. You have someone from up north, DC. We got two guys from DC, and the northern attitude is a little harsher and a little more reserved.
I know, I'm from
Right?
Jersey.
Right? and so you don't share as much, and when you do share, it's straightforward. Am I right?
Yeah, so.
Yes. On point.
So the southern attitude is like, oh my God, you're telling stories. And like we went to Kroger yesterday and we're buying ingredients and this lady that we just see every Sunday because we cook every Sunday, and she was like, oh, what are you guys making this time? Whatnot? That's not something you find anywhere else. It's like the southern hospitality. And just because it's so consistent and happens in so many different places, you have to learn to manage. Like Spain, for example, and Latin countries are very communal. So Miguel expects a lot from other people. Whereas an American, like Thomas, born and raised Seattle, completely American family, is extremely independent. He'll drive himself everywhere. He doesn't want too much help and whatnot. And it's weird to see because sometimes they don't get that. Listen, Thomas is like that just because that's how he grew up and whatnot. I feel like I've been gifted just moving around, understanding and almost teaching the young guys and understanding and helping people understand each other, and acting as a little bit of a glue within the team. Because tennis is the most international of all college sports, that's a big aspect, I think, that I like. That's where my heart is. That's why I want to keep the team together. I think one of the most important things we can do on a college team.
That's awesome. What's it like as like a recruit, or like the recruiting process of recruiting people from foreign countries? What's that like?
It's funny because so I have a different perspective of him as a recruit because I usually know a lot of the recruits. So I play the tournaments at an international level, and so do the recruits. We just had a recruit from Turkey 2 days ago, and I've already met him before at the tournaments, but seeing them from the tournaments to here is like completely different. They have like a completely different attitude. At the tournaments, like imagine a tournament in Brazil, you see the recruit. I saw him last year in January in Brazil, completely different. I played against him and it was almost like on the court. It was some tension. It was very tense.
That's funny.
But now that we see each other and we look at each other like possible future teammates, the relationship is completely different, and you learn way more about them. How are they thinking? How are they like behaving outside of the court? And yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah. Here's something I'll say about recruiting. It has more to do with tennis as an individual sport specifically. Is kind of like what he said. You go around and the way we're recruited has nothing to do with your school results. I played some for high school. Some of the other guys played for high school, but you're not really judged on what you do for your school. Whereas football and basketball and whatnot will be judged by that. We're more individual results. So even our recruiting is individualized. You go to tournaments and it's you versus everyone. So when you come to school, you don't really understand what it means to be on a team with someone. And even freshmen usually come in and they think they have to compete within the team to get a line of spot, which is true, but it takes some mellowing and takes some softening to understand. It's like, all right, hey, we're going to put out the 6 best players, and whoever's the 6 best, they're going to do the best, and I'm going to support you no matter what. Even if I'm in a fight to try and play for 6 with someone else, it takes a little bit of calming down. The recruiting process specifically, because there's so many international kids, tennis is a small world, so people seem to know a lot of each other. And I think something that Georgia does extremely well is the coaches bring them here through the advice of the kids, and then it's our job to make them stay. That's what Jamie, our assistant coach, always says. Is like, whoever we bring in, we need to like them. We need to tell the coaches, like, listen, they did this, they did that. You know, there was a great visit, X, Y, Z. And we've told the coaches, no, don't take that kid. That kid's a problem. And they could be maybe top 50 in the world or something like that. But we have a large influence. And I think that's something that has made Georgia so successful throughout the years. Is, you know, one bad apple can ruin a group.
The thing also is that tennis, the team, if I compare tennis to football, for example, or basketball, the team is much smaller, much closer. So the recruit is like able to develop bonds with almost every guy on the team. So the recruit that we had has been able to develop like the bond with like 10 other guys. And for example, if a good recruit from high school football, for example, come. I mean, how many guys are there on the football team?
100, about 100.
100?
Yeah.
He's like probably talking to max like 50 of them, and in these 50 guys, he's probably developing connection with like 3, 4, even 10. It still remains less than 10% of the team. Here, he's able to like connect with the whole team, and yeah, that changed the deal.
How many guys are on the team?
10 total.
Okay. Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow. So
Yeah, we're tiny. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And you mentioned you cooked every Sunday. Is that like the whole team comes to cook, or is it just you at your place?
That's funny. So last year we didn't cook much, and I started to get into, just me personally, my secret obsession is cooking. Like my Netflix feed is just cooking shows. My YouTube, it will turn on, it'll just be a bunch of recipes. That's my off topic, right? Is cooking. And so he comes in and I'll just, throw it out there, and just in a group of 10 guys, you don't immediately want to be like, yo guys, I love cooking. But then he was like, yo, no way, you cook too.
Yeah, I've been cooking my own meals for like the past 2 years. Like,
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. Like
What is your guys' like favorite thing to
to
make?
make?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we've done our last 3 have been the first one we ever did was we made Brazilian stroganoff. which is just I had this for Christmas dinner. It's essentially it's a creamy think of it like fettuccine Alfredo, but the Alfredo sauce has a little bit of tomato in it. But the way you make it is with like condensed milk, kind of. There's words for it that I'm forgetting right now, but it's unbelievable. Everyone loved it. Next week we go spicy sausage rigatoni with vodka sauce. Everything home, like we made our own vodka sauce and everything. What did we make yesterday?
We made like this beef bulgogi beef Korean
bowl.
Rice.
I make that sometimes.
You guys are like legit
chefs.
Legit.
Like I'm like I make pasta.
No, we love it. We love
We
it.
absolutely love it. And yeah, so we cook at our friend's house, teammate's house. His name is Thomas, and he has like unbelievable kitchen.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Big, lot of space, insane equipment. So it's like a dream. Like,
Where does
we're
Thomas
like,
live?
We're like using
Yeah,
Thomas is right in 5 Points, near Millage, where all the frat
Okay.
sororities are,
okay.
and just like
His
one of the
little
little alcoves, he's like renovated a house over there.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, it's
It's
unbelievable.
unbelievable.
We're like
that's very
fanboying
cool.
over this house.
Yeah, we're like squatting.
Yeah.
So yeah, we cooked like every Sunday. Usually every Sunday for a team, like for 10 players. Yeah, so that's nice.
That's awesome. Would you guys say it's easier to build like great team chemistry with a smaller team?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it helps.
I would assume I've never been on a big team, right? But just so we get this a lot. We like to say that tennis is relatively an exciting group of guys to be around. We'll do our media day, and it's just like the most absurd thing. We'll stay in there for 2 hours. We'll like do interviews on each other. Half of this stuff will never ever be posted. But you know the media people say we're by far the most exciting team to work with. I like to say that's a good thing. I like to say it's
hold
a
on
good
now.
thing.
Wait a minute.
Be careful.
We have softball with us.
At least for this year.
hosting. Dude.
Hey, their words, not mine. But just I think we got lucky that we had a lot of guys who got along well, and just very strong personalities within the team that all like each other too.
Yeah. Awesome. So, what was your guys' first experience at an SEC football game like? Was it weird?
Wow. So football, like American football in Europe is basically not a thing. So I didn't know a single rule in a football match before coming here. Like really. But like, the first time I stepped into Sanford Stadium and I see the crowd and like the atmosphere, it was mind blowing. I was like, where did I fell off? Like it was completely crazy. Yeah, the crowd, the atmosphere, very different from soccer, which is my second favorite sport after tennis. Very different, lot of stops, actions, but I love it. Now I follow like football like a lot. I try to like know all the transfers that is being made between the teams. I know the little inside stories.
The ins and outs. Yeah, that's funny.
I love it.
SEC football. First of all, I didn't understand that the town shut down.
Oh yeah.
So
It's completely absurd.
yeah, dude, it was like the first game day. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm kind of hungry. I'm gonna go out to eat before.
Oh, no.
And then like, okay, yeah, I can't leave my parking deck. Every road is closed. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll just Uber somewhere with my friend. No, the Uber cannot access where I am because every road is shut down. And I'm like, dude, what?
The
What
town is
happening?
completely red.
Yeah.
Completely red.
And so we start
Everyone's
walking
wearing
downtown because at this point, where was I? I was at a friend. We were off campus, right? And then all right, let's walk to the game because they knew it was happening. They wanted to show me the older guys from last year. Let's walk to the game. So we're walking down Lumpkin. And I'm like, dude, where does the grass go? Everyone is tailgating, and they're like, dude, I thought tailgating was like, oh, you park your truck, you have some beers in the back of your truck. No, these people are like sending it on the lawn. It's one of the greatest things I've ever seen. And so it was funny. Right before I came to school, I had the opportunity to have lunch with the dean here, Dr. Bill, super nice guy, and he was almost warning me. He was like, yeah, you understand what Athens football is like. I'm like, no. Like, why are you so tentative right now? He's like, no, just, I don't know how you are as a person and whatnot. Just make sure when you're walking around, you're aware of your surroundings. Enjoy it for sure. But there's going to be lots of people open carrying. Just make sure that you understand. It's just part of the culture and whatnot. I'm like, okay, yeah. I didn't believe him, and then I went to the first football game and I was like, wow, this is much more than he ever said. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, so a little bit of a switch up. NIL.
Yep.
How is that in the tennis world? Like, have you guys experienced a lot of that, or?
He's international.
International can't do NIL.
Unfortunately, I cannot.
That's right.
No, but
give my opinion on this.
I did get lucky though. So with this I call it Costa Tennis Academy. I started. So I'll give you the background story. I've had 5 left knee surgeries. I've had a blood clot in my chest. I've had an impingement in my shoulder. I'd like to say I'm one of the most injured players ever to play the game, but I don't think I'm the unluckiest. I think I'm the luckiest because I think all of these things, through injury, through whatever I had to go through, one, brought me a lot of new experiences, showed me things that I also enjoyed besides tennis, and made me understand that I'm more than just a tennis player. I'm also a tennis coach. So I would be out of surgery in my wheelchair, with crutches, whatever, with my legs up, yelling at my parents or whoever I'm coaching at the time. One, I love explaining things. I like getting out there, kind of being the teacher. And since I grew up in so many different places, I had the opportunity to learn from so many different tennis coaches about so many different ways to play tennis and lots of ways not to. So I want to share that knowledge. When I come to college, I'm feeling good, I'm healthy. I'm like, all right, I like coaching. I can't do it anymore. I got class, I got a team. I don't have any time. You know what? Let me put some videos out. I'll make something. Maybe it'll turn out something cool. So I made Costa Tennis Academy. I like to say my brand of coaching is a new perspective to how normally people learn the game. I like to use science. I like to give people reasons why they do things, the fundamentals of everything. And by luck, it popped off pretty quick. Which is how he found out about Georgia, which is the coolest thing ever. And now, I'm like a year and a couple weeks into it, and grown a lot, like tens of millions of views and everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah, awesome. And through that, some really cool opportunities. I think the coolest one is I was kind of hired by Amazon. So it's I essentially work for Amazon through Costa Tennis Academy. I help them. It's like an invite program to where I help them with their specific marketing on the tennis side of things, content creation. But specifically, tennis brands will reach out, and I want to make sure that what I put out on my page and what people see, regarding my name is stuff that that can help their game. I want to have my brand influenced by things that will only add value to other people who are actually watching. So I got lucky in the tennis NIL side of things through this academy specifically. I think that tennis needs to have some more NIL activity, and here's why: is you have so many sports that kind of branch from tennis. Pickleball, everyone's play pickleball now. People don't watch pickleball. People go and watch tennis. They can't play tennis, then they play pickleball. People actually love tennis. It's one of the most satisfying things to watch. It's just people smacking it back and forth and whatnot, like two gladiators in an arena. While college tennis isn't the most, doesn't have the most viewership in terms of, we don't have like the largest stadium. It doesn't ever, pull up to every single match. It's still one of the most enjoyed sports by a lot of people. And you can just look at numbers in order to see that. Okay. As college tennis is growing, and specifically in Georgia, we have one of the biggest stadiums, by far the best crowds in the country. Like last year, we had like almost 13,000 people come to, I don't know how many, we had like 5 to 10 home matches. One of our NCAA matches, there were like 4,000 people there. The Kentucky match, we Josh Brooks, our AD, he measured like 98 decibels on his Apple Watch. Just like at like coliseum of an environment. People love tennis, and I think the more we can not only promote tennis, not just wait for it to be on the rise, but help it grow up. Breakpoint on Netflix, right? We want Full Swing. We want the F1, right? Breakpoint is coming on the rise. As the old generation, as Federer and Nadal, Djokovic is always going to be around, but as the new guys, Alcaraz and Sinner, and kind of the new generation of tennis players comes up, Ben Shelton, an excellent example, played at University of Florida. These players are almost bringing a new audience into tennis, a younger audience into tennis, and people are also interested in where they came from. You know, they're still young. Only 2 years ago, Ben Shelton was winning the SAAs, right? That's a big deal. And so it's like if we manage to get and seize opportunities to highlight how much college tennis is actually so close to the professional game, how exciting it actually is. It's much more exciting to watch college tennis than it is professional tennis. 100%. You have 6 matches at one time, 3 doubles matches. Everyone's going nuts. You have different rules. You can just scream as much as you want. Like that's the excitement that people want to see almost change in the professional world. We have that in college.
That's awesome.
I love how passionate you are.
Yeah.
You know,
I
you
know.
can really see it. And I love how you've taken the obstacles that you've had in your life to mold your story and create the tennis academy that you have. So that's really cool. So I want to know a little bit more about both of you guys' story besides like behind tennis. So your family, how was life like growing up? You said you've lived in 16 different states, countries, or
I've moved to 16 different houses.
16 different houses. Okay, so how did that come about?
So the story is, I was born in Brazil. I lived in São Paulo, and we moved around Brazil a little. I lived up in Recife in the north for a little while. I moved to Chile and Santiago. My sister was born, and he knows the story is long. My sister was born in Chile. Then moved to Arizona, Tempe, Arizona. I've lived in the same city in Arizona on 3 separate occasions. That's where I started playing tennis. I actually started playing tennis. I went to the U.S. Open in 2010. Watched Federer hit that between the leg shot. Second round, 2010 versus Brian DeBoer. Yeah. I was there.
Yeah.
Then I moved to England for 3 years, up north of England, which was an unbelievable experience. Hated it first. Oh my gosh, England was like the worst place ever. Because you go from hot, sunny, cheap, beautiful Arizona, where everything's flat and whatnot, and then you go to the north of England, everything's depressing and small and expensive and rainy.
Is the food bad?
Yeah, terrible. Beans on toast. Like,
I've heard that.
Freddie,
if you're watching,
Food
never
is
eat beans on
terrible,
toast.
Freddie.
Oh
Food
my
is
god.
horrible.
Full English breakfast is good. Something I will say, my favorite restaurant in the world is in England. It's like this little pub. It's called the Bull's Head, but it's like an Italian restaurant, so it doesn't really count. But we moved back to Arizona for a little bit. I did a year there. Then we moved to Georgia. I went to a couple different high schools, just moving houses in Georgia, and then we finally settled over in the Milton area. And then I went back to Arizona for the 3rd time, back to Georgia. This was Arizona State, UGA.
So what was the reason for all the moving? Was your parents' job or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my dad worked for the same company, and they just sent him around to different finance projects.
Got you.
Which was, I loved it, 100%. I think it was, and people ask me, well, you don't like having a good, solid group of friends, in one place. Like, listen, I got a good, solid group of friends in 15 different places. I love having to know everyone, right?
That's awesome.
And I used to be a shy kid. I'm not anymore. I think it taught me a lot about, I love chatting now. I like, getting to know everyone. And I think just having to go through so much change, so much uncertainty, whether it was through injury that exposed me to, I've been playing guitar now for like 10 years. Sneak peek, I did some theater, so I was a theater kid. That's gonna be cut out, but no, I got a 3 lifetimes of life within a childhood, right, which was unbelievably fun, and I like to think that I took it and dealt with the adversity and dealt with the problems and dealt with all the change in the best way possible to try and make myself grow.
So his response was long, but mine's gonna be long too because I moved a lot too. So I'm born in Morocco. Then I directly moved to Asia, and I lived in Asia for 4 years. I lived in Vietnam for 3 years, in Singapore for 6 months, and in Hong Kong for 6 months. My dad's working for the European Union, so because of him, I had the opportunity to move a lot. After I finally went to Belgium. So I'm Belgian, but I've only been to Belgium when I was 5. Don't ask me why. So I went in Belgium. Then after I started, so I picked up tennis when I was in Vietnam. I followed my sister. After I've been to Belgium, I've been recruited by the Belgian Tennis Federation. I've been with them, collaborating with them for like 12 years, practicing there. Amazing staff. They helped me so much. When I was 12 years old, 12, 13 years old to 15, 16 years old. I lived in Senegal, in Western Africa. I slowed down tennis-wise. I spend more time with my family. Took a little break tennis-wise. I was only playing 1-2 times a week. Not that much. People, when I speak to coaches, to tennis people, they're always like, they don't believe me that I was only playing 1-2 times a week. But like I always say, the most important thing in the process is just to enjoy it and to never forget that it's a game. I don't feel that when you're that young, playing 2 hours every day is very necessary. Enjoying, love competing is the most important thing. After I came back to Belgium, practiced a lot, grind a lot, traveled all around the world for the international tournaments, made a lot of great connections, meet a lot of great people, learned a lot, and here I am today on the only continent I've ever stepped to before.
That's funny.
Living a fantastic experience. So I love it.
That's awesome.
Where was y'all's favorite place to live?
Georgia?
Georgia.
Yeah,
I've been around it. Yeah. No, Georgia for sure.
Really?
And specifically,
Wow.
like
Surprising.
the culture of Georgia is. I love the fact that the lady at Kroger was like, "Oh, what are you guys cooking tonight? Good to see my tennis friends again."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yo, this is the best thing ever." It like literally made our day.
As soon as
That
we
doesn't
left, I was
happen.
like, how did you remember that we were like playing tennis and then we were cooking like every time? And how do we always see her at the exact same time on Sunday? Like,
Yeah,
how,
no, it was awesome.
So I didn't have the opportunity to visit a lot of America for the moment. I've only been in the South. I've been to Texas once, to South Carolina, a few places here and there, but I've never went to the West Coast. I really want to, and go to the North too. I heard there's like a big difference between the northern attitude and the southern attitude.
Yeah.
I want to experience that.
Yeah, well, you got all three right here.
Yeah.
That's West
Yeah.
Coast, North,
West
and I'm
Coast
from Georgia. So.
Oh wow! All right.
That's outside.
Yeah, get ready to get yelled at.
Getting ready to defend your people. I don't know.
It rude.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Okay, we love our northern girl.
It's too
All right.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, thank you guys so
Yeah,
much
thank
for
you
joining.
so
We
much.
loved hearing your stories.
That was awesome. That was unreal.
Yeah, we can't wait to follow you guys' career and see what y'all do out there this season.
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you so much for having
Thank
us.
you so much.
Yeah,
That was
this
great.
is
Y'all
incredible.
need to come to a
opportunity.
softball game since you don't know
Yeah.
too much.
Oh yeah, we're
We'll make a deal. We'll come to some
Yeah,
tennis
yeah.
matches and y'all come to some
I'll be there
softball.
with Morgan
Done.
Kent.
Yeah.
Shout out to
I'll be there
Morgan.
with
Yeah.
shout out to Morgan. Best advisor in the school.
Yeah.
With Samantha.
That's good.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you guys for
Okay.
doing this.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you guys are great.